Hello. I have been practicing my rendering, line art, and color theory for the past month, like the video title says, and I would like to tell you some of the things that helped me out. Remember, I am not a professional artist and I only have 1 year of art experience to my name. I hope you enjoy the video and my tips. See you at the end. So when I tried rendering this study, I did not use a color picker and I mainly just eyeballed it. When I first started rendering, I genuinely didn't get it. The main thing I did was the classic darker value and shift the hue to a cooler color a bit, which obviously isn't bad, but the reason it was bad for me was because I thought it was the only way in color theory, until I found out it wasn't. And this study reflects it mainly. I tried adding a Terminator line, or also known as the bedbug line. Dude, what are these names? But yeah, you can see that I added a more saturated pink where the shadow begins. In my opinion, I suggest not doing this on this specific object. I don't know why I did it at that time, but as you can see, this Razzie plushie is definitely not a less saturated pink or a darker pink. It's mostly a grayish blue, or a very desaturated blue, or a muted blue. There are many ways to say it, but I prefer grayish blue, and I die with that statement if I have to. Anyways, as you can see, I added a bit of bounce light from the scarf towards the plushie's head. Not gonna lie, I had a lot of trouble with the scarf's highlights. I don't know why. I just couldn't find the right hue, but I moved on. Though, honestly, I genuinely didn't know how to blend two colors at that time. Like, the main thing I did was basically putting the colors that are in between the two colors in the hue color wheel that I want to blend, and changing the hue slightly and making the color lighter until I reached the color I wanted, which honestly looks kinda cool in my opinion, but yeah, it took way too long, too much time to do that. I do not recommend that way when you can literally just use Krita's built-in blending tools, but if you want to do that sort of painting style or something like that, then maybe try my method though. I don't guarantee anything crazy. Also, I decided to use the layers option a bit in Krita out of pure curiosity, and it actually worked. It made my shadows way more expressive, and in later color studies, I sought to achieve that type of feeling without the saturation layer. One thing that helped me out in this study, and what yes, you should probably do if you want to get better at color theory, would definitely be getting out of your comfort zone and try experimenting with different groups of colors like monochromatic or complementary or analogous colors. I think it's called, but basically, don't do the thing I did with my colors in the past, or else you'll regret it later. So before I start, yes, I did forget to record these next three color studies, but it's okay, cause that's why I'm here. The sip of embarrassment goes crazy. But anyways, as you can see on this study, I mainly tried something new with the shadows, being complementary compared to the light side. I honestly had no idea what this would get me when I first started coloring, but yeah, if any of y'all watching this video was stuck on how to make your character look like it's getting illuminated by soft light in the dark, here you go. I also just realized I didn't specify on how I do my color studies, mainly because I forgot. My bad, guys. Wait, don't subscribe, I have a good reason. Okay, I have no reason, but relax. So basically, I get a reference and I trace it. I don't mean it that way, I mean it in a study type of way. Anyways, after I trace it, I basically steer into a tree and completely ignore it for the rest of the study session, and I do my own thing. Okay, now that you know, I don't know if you noticed, but I actually tried following the planes of the face this study session, and I still used my way of blending, but I also managed to do the bed bug line. You know what? I'm officially renaming the Terminator line as John, because it's too long for my interest. Don't click off, just trust the process. So I managed to do John a bit more correct since last time, because it's actually near the hue of the skin and just more saturated. But yeah, the shadows look bland and they don't have any hue shifts at all, they just look boring. So here's another tip from your average wannabe artist. Basically, when you're doing rendering, make sure to not leave your shadows as one entire color. That can make it look bland, boring, uninteresting, stupid, and unfinished. So try thinking of what other things affect the shadow, like bounce light or the blush on the cheeks. Basically, anything but leaving the shadow one color. In this fan art, I tried doing something different. This time, I actually tried doing it out of my own imagination. Kinda. Like, I obviously used references, but I didn't just copy one reference. I got a bunch of references and I just mashed them together into one idea. You should try doing it if you aren't already. But as you can see, in this fan art, I am drawing Luffy from an anime called One Piece. And usually, Luffy doesn't get angry. He's more of a jokester type of guy. But when he does, it usually leads to one of the many peak moments in the anime. So, I decided to try capturing that feeling and that expression. And it wasn't easy, but thankfully, Luffy is one of the more simpler characters that you can draw. Like seriously. His hair is just spikes and his eyes are literally just circles. But still, this was my first time doing this type of stuff. And I was a bit anxious, mainly cause I was trying to show what I learned over the past 2 months. Unfortunately, now this may seem like a surprise, but I forgot to record the lineup. But don't worry, cause I'm coming to your house. I have a photo of your house. I have a photo of my line art. So there's no need to unsubscribe. But yeah, in the past, my line art was seriously boring. Like straight up, where am I supposed to look at boring? If you get what I mean. So I decided to try fixing it in the study. And I went into an artist server and I posted my line art with my troubles about it after 20 minutes of contemplating every word that I said. And I got some critique. So here's another tip from your average artist that I learned from another artist. Basically, if you want your line art to be good and interesting, you should probably give it another reason for being there besides outlining your drawing. One of these things could be perspective, aka the thicker the line art, the closer it is, and the thinner the further away it is. Or, my favorite, suggesting where the light source is coming from. Now, what could this mean? In other words, a place where there is shadow, the thicker the line art, and the place where there is light, the thinner the line art. You can even go the extra mile, like no line art in the highlights, or basically way thicker line art in the ambient occlusion. Yeah, I said that the first time. The point is, you usually don't want your line art to be only about outlining your objects or shapes. Try giving it another purpose. Okay, now that you heard me yap enough about line art, let's get to the equally frustrating but also fun part of an illustration. Everyone knows it, you know it, I don't want to know it, but it's rendering. Woo! Yeah! Basically, for those that don't know what rendering is, imagine you have an illustration that you put flat colors on. What will be the logical next step in this illustration? Depends on your workflow, but in my opinion, it will be shadows, highlights, reflected light, and all the other fun stuff. These are rendering. Basically, everything that comes after flat colors, if you take my workflow as an example. Now that I addressed the elephant in the room, let's see what techniques I borrowed from other artists to make my rendering better. Now, when I was rendering this goofy illustration, I found the love of my life, aka the tool called Bezier Curve Selection tool. I didn't know I was into French, but the more you know. So, why do I like this tool so much, you may ask? And if you didn't, I'll remember that next time. But anyways, the reason I like this tool so much is because it's basically the lasso tool, but a straight line version, which also allows you to bend those lines however you like, which is also why I like it so much, because my accuracy has never been higher. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's get to the real business. Reflected light, bounce light, and John, and maybe Johnny as well for feeling like it. These were a game changer to me, because it made my shadows a grade 10 levels. Now, how did I do it? Simple actually, because basically, let's use skin as an example. I first do the John classic and use an airbrush with a more saturated color of the skin color on John. In return, it should look something like this. After I do that, I go to the shadow side and on the outline of the skin, I use an airbrush to add a nice bluish desaturated or a more saturated blue. In return, it makes a nice warm to cold progression and it makes my shadow not look bland. Though if you want it to be a single color, it's completely fine. You may be wondering, what artist did I steal this from? Well, I wouldn't exactly say steal, more like borrowed without permission. But yeah, it's Yish Chan. I think that's how you pronounce her name. You should check her out. She makes amazing art. But yeah, don't forget about the bounce light. It's very important to make it look like the skin or any object is actually in the environment. But if you say that, quote unquote, I genuinely can't think of anything that could change my shadow's hue, well then, touche. But if you're not, you don't need to have a reason to put a desaturated blue in your shadow, as long as you don't overdo it. If you feel like you want your shadow to be cooler, make it cooler. After all, you don't have to follow any rules in art, just make sure you know them so you can actually break them first. But yeah, I have something to say. This may not seem like a surprise, but I genuinely forgot to record when I put the reflected light and bounce light and highlights. Whoopsie. I only recorded right when I was done, but oh well, it happens, right? Now, it's your favorite part of this video, I hope. Here's another awesome tip from your average artist. If you want your art to be more realistic, you need to learn the difference between hard and soft edges. Now, don't give me that look, buddy. I know what you're thinking. Yes, it is important. And no, you shouldn't skip this even if you do a more stylish type of art style. Because I know you heard this thousands of times already, but style as art comes from real life. But I'll explain this in a future video, so like and subscribe if you want to see it. Yeah. Now, back to the soft and hard edges. Basically, a hard edge is usually made if you have a sharp corner of an object. Example, a cube, the light side is clearly separated from the shadow side. That's a hard edge. Another hard type of hard edge, depending on how strong the light and how realistic you want your rendering to be, is a cast shadow. Basically, the shadow made by an object onto another surface when it blocks a light source, but the shadow usually gets way weaker the further away it is from the object that made the shadow. Now, a soft edge? A soft edge is usually made when the object is round and doesn't have any sharp corners. That's basically the summary of it. I am sorry if I forgot some parts, but for me this is the most important. Now, I didn't mention the last edge type, but I don't feel like explaining it in this video. Anyways, this is the final result. and I think I definitely got better at rendering, but obviously it still looks unfinished. But I'm proud of this drawing, cause I managed to accomplish the things I wanted to do these past 2 months. For those that made it to the end of the video, congratulations! You are officially a Goofy Goober. Yes, I'll start saying this at the end of every video from now on. I don't know why, it just seems cool, so go with it. But yeah, these videos take a lot of time to make, so if you could please like and subscribe, I would love that. And it helps with my goal of reaching 100 subscribers by the end of Halloween. And if you're wondering why I haven't been opening for the past like 2 months, it's mainly because of a tiny error between me and YouTube. What is that error, you may ask? Well, I want to make custom thumbnails like every other normal YouTuber, and you have to verify your phone number to do that. No problem, right? I thought so too, until YouTube decided to say that my phone number was not accepted for 2 months straight. And after almost getting rage baited by YouTube, trying whatever method I found off of the internet, I decided, you know what, let me change my Wi-Fi, maybe it works. And after changing my Wi-Fi, it worked! Yay! YouTube, I will personally make sure you won't get away with this. But yeah, I am glad you enjoyed the video. Thank you, my Goofy Goober. And also, thank you towards my friends for the Goofy support. Yes, I'm talking about you, you Goofy stalker. See ya in my next video.